Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to Maths on this Tuesday morning. I hope you're all happy and I hope that you're all staying safe. Hopefully not too much longer now. We're going to start this morning with our warm-up activities, which as usual will be triangles and squares. You know what they mean by now. Press pause, please, when you are ready to start working. And when you want to hear the answers, press play. Okay, press pause now. Okay, first question this morning is 60 times 8. Now, if you think back to yesterday, I talked about using and applying known multiplication facts. Okay, so the first job is to be able to cover up your zero, your magic zero. Hold your finger down on it. That leaves us then with 6 times 8. 6 8s are 48. We then will need to release that sneaky magic zero so that it jumps back onto the end of the number, and that leaves us with 480. And that's the answer to 60 times 8. Okay, second question this morning I've decided to go for is 876 plus 227. First method we've got this morning is abstract method of column addition. So we'll start with the ones column. 6 plus 7 is 13. We must carry that 10 across. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then you must add in the 1 to make 10, which of course means we've then got to carry across again. Then 8 plus 2 would be 10 and 1 would be 11. So in this case, the answer would be 1103. Method 2, you know, I like partitioning. It's always good. So I would break the numbers up. 800 plus 200 would be 1000. 70 plus 20 would be 90. And 7 plus 6 would be 13. And if we recombine our numbers, we'll be left with 1103, which matches what we had before. Okay, third question I'm going to look at this morning is 67 plus 40 up here. Again, this is a bit similar to yesterday, place value question. In this case, the only digit that changes is the tens column. Okay, so your ones will not change at all because you are adding 0 ones to it, but the tens will change. So I would suggest starting at 67 and then adding on 4 tens. Okay, so we're going to count on, so it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40. So 67 plus 40 would be 107. Finally, for the warm-up this morning, we've got 212 divided by 8. Now, as we've looked at in the last couple of weeks, the most efficient method would be bus stop short division. So if we set our bus stop up over here, and then we start with our 8. So we're going to say 8s into 2 doesn't go, so we put a 0 at the top there. But then we move the 2 across to make this number here 21. So 8s into 21 goes 2. And there's 5 left over. 2 8s are 16. So we have 5 left over that would make 21. Then 8s into 52 would be 6. But it would still mean that we have 4 left over. But we haven't got any more numbers that we can add it to here. So we've got to show that as a remainder. So our answer here would be 26, remainder 4. We could, as a second method though, partitioning chunk. So if I broke the number 212 up, I could break it up into 80s to begin with. And that's mainly because it's a nice round number and it is 10 lots of 8. So here I would say 80 divided by 8 would be 10. 80 divided by 8 would be 10. And then I'm left with 52. 52 divided by 8 would be 6, remainder 4. So if I recombine the numbers, I would get 10, 20, 26, remainder 4, which you can see agrees with our bus stop method over here. Okay, moving on to the main part of our lesson this morning, we're going to be measuring volume to the nearest 5 millilitres this morning. So our star words today would be measure, volume, litres, I've got the shortened version here of milliliters, then we've got the word milliliters, and finally I've got up here weigh. Now weigh shouldn't be there. Silly Mr. Nugent, cut it out and take it away. Okay, so moving on this morning then, our in focus task, we've got on the screen here in front of us, we've got we've got two bottles of we've got one of body wash, one of shampoo, and we've got two children here. One of them is saying that the volume of the body wash is 0.4 litres, while the other chap down here is saying that the volume of the shampoo is 0.46 litres. So we would need to have a little think about what we need to solve this. And could we use anything that we've learned before or anything that we've learned yesterday? Have a little think about it, press pause, look at the containers because they are really important this morning. And then we will all come back together and look at what the answers might be. Press pause now, just while you think. Okay, let's learn. Now then, let's think about the volume of the body wash to begin with, the body wash. Now the body wash, if you look back, was the smaller bottle. And the young lady said that she thought that there was 0.4 litres of body wash. Okay, now the container we've got here is 100 millilitres. Now so far we've been looking at capacity like jars or containers up to 1 litre or 1,000 millilitres. Now this one is only up to 100 millilitres. Okay, now the body wash itself has 40 millilitres in it. 40 millilitres in it, and you can see that here in the container. We've got 10, 20, 30, 40 millilitres. Now that's not going to be, it's not going to be the same as the 100 millilitres, the 0.1 of a litre that we looked at yesterday. This is going to be a smaller amount. So 10 millilitres would be 1/100th of a litre, 1/100th of 1,000 millilitres. And we would actually write that, okay, as 100th, okay, so 0.01. So 10 millilitres would be 0.01. 20 millilitres would be 0.02. 30 millilitres would be 0.03. And 40 millilitres would be 0.04. And that would carry on. But here we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. If we were going to write that, we would write it as 0.04 of a litre. 400ths of a litre. Now the little girl down here is saying actually she realizes now that she was wrong, because she said it was going to be 0.4 of a litre. 0.4 of a litre, as we think back to yesterday, would be 400 millilitres. So she now knows that what she should have said was 0.04. Now the chap said, as you can see down here, that the volume of the shampoo was 0.45 litres. And if we think back to yesterday's learning, that would be 450 millilitres. Okay. Now the big question is, has he got his answer right or not? So if we think back to yesterday, now here we've got 0.5. The bar here is showing 0.5 or half a litre or 500 millilitres. Each one of these little marks here is 1/10 of half a litre or 1/10 of 500. So each one of these is worth 50 millilitres here. 50 millilitres. The shampoo here, okay, it's been poured into the container. And if we were to count up here, we would start at 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450. So the volume of the shampoo is 450 millilitres. And if we wanted to show that as a litre, it would be 0.45 litres. So he is correct in what he is saying down here. The important things to remember here was that 1,000 millilitres is a litre. Half a litre would be 500 millilitres or 0.5 litres. And then 100 millilitres is 1/10 of a litre, 0.1. And we could even think about 10 millilitres being 0.01 of a litre. Okay, it's your turn now. On this screen and on the next screen, and you can look at these in your book, there is some coloured water. And what I want you to do is to have a look at trying to work out how much, or what the volume is of the coloured water in each beaker. Remember, and there's a clue here, remember that 10 millilitres is 0.01 litres. Press pause now while you're thinking about it and looking at the answers, and press play when you're ready to hear me talk about it. Okay, then welcome back. The first one, A, the red one there, the volume of coloured water in the beaker is about, and what we need to do is count up. Now you can see that there is one, the most it could be is 100 millilitres. The top of that container is 100 millilitres. That means that every mark here is worth 10 millilitres. So if we count up from the bottom, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 millilitres here, 50 millilitres, but they want to know what it is in litres. And we said up here that 10 millilitres is 0.01, so 5 millilitres must be 0.05 litres. Okay, the one below that, the green one, the volume of coloured water in the beaker is about how many litres? So you can see again it is a 100 millilitre container, and that actually if we were to count up, we would find that we would have 70 millilitres or 0.07 litres. Okay, we've got 3 more for you to have a go at here. Similar to what we've just done, but if you'd like to press pause and then press play when you're ready to hear me again. Okay, off you go. Okay, now the trap to be careful we don't fall into here, these containers are slightly different to the ones we looked at just now. The ones we looked at just now were 100 millilitres. These are 500 millilitres or 0.5 litre containers. So we have to be careful with that when we're counting up. Here we've got 100, 200 millilitres or 0.2 of a litre. This one here, if we count up, we've got 100, 200, 300, 400, 450 millilitres or 0.45 of a litre. And this one here has 150 millilitres or 0.15 litres. Okay, so with that in mind, what I'd like you to think about now is your independent learning. I'd like you to complete worksheet 5 on pages 73 to 74 of your textbook, sorry, your workbook. And while you're working out the answers, if you'd like to press pause and then press play when you're ready to come back. Okay, for our plenary this morning, I'm taking us back to the beginning of the lesson. And we had this question, didn't we, about the body wash and the shampoo. Now we know the answer. We know that the shampoo was correct, that the boy who was talking about the shampoo was correct, and we know the girl got it wrong. But what I want you to be able to do is to think about what you now know that you needed to be able to do to answer this question. And I want you to try and use the sentence stem below. So look at the question. What, use the sentence stem there. So to answer this question, I knew that, and then add in the bits that are missing, and then therefore, and see if you can add some mathematical language, something that you've learned in this lesson that will help you to answer that question. Once you're finished with this, the lesson is over, so I will say goodbye now. Look forward to speaking to you all tomorrow. Take care and stay safe. See you later.